When it comes to love and relationships, probably the last thing we want to discuss is the topic of grief. After all, what's grief got to do with love? When we think about love, we expect the conversation to be about bubblegum and butterflies. Everything sweet and beautiful, and that's certainly part of it when love is done well. But in the real world where we face real issues and problems every day, grief actually plays an important role, and the reason is this: everyone is going to be hurt sometimes. Life is not always going to go the way we want it, and no one gets through this life without scars. Knowing that reality, we have to have a way back when our heart is broken. We need a comeback story. We need a path that leads us to healing so that we can keep our hearts and our minds open to connections. That when tough times come along and we get hurt along the way, we know how to come back, stay engaged, and continue living healthy, happy, thriving relationships. Some of this pain of life starts even back in our childhood. If you came from a dysfunctional, toxic, or abusive family, you may have healing to do even from childhood. If you've been through a bad breakup or a divorce, there's healing to do so that you can still engage in healthy relationships. And on a smaller scale, there's just going to be things said sometimes. Mistakes will be made. People are not going to be perfect. And we need a way to heal from the scars of life, big and small, to have that comeback story and live that life of healthy, happy relationships. Too many times people live the alternative, which is to put up barriers, guard your heart, keep people at arm's length, push people out of your life because you've been hurt before and you want to defend yourself, hoping you won't be hurt again. This makes some logical sense, but it doesn't actually work. It just keeps us imprisoned behind our own walls of defensiveness and keeps us from building the relationships we actually want. Grief is our method of healing. It's our way of coming back to engage in relationships even when we've been hurt before. One of the things I always say is that some things are so painful they leave a hole in your heart. But you can live a really good life with a hole in your heart. We can't fix the past, that dysfunctional family, that painful breakup, that divorce. We can't fix those things in the past, but we can heal to a place that we can live a really good life with a hole in our heart. And when we learn to do that, we're allowing grief to be a healer, which makes it a very important aspect of love.